I'm going to call the meeting, organizational meeting in the town of Diamond Valley to order at 5:32. October 16th, 2024. Can I get an approval for this agenda, please?
I'll give it to you.
Hazel gives us that. All in favor? Excellent. Council Code Conduct. The town of Diamond Valley acknowledges that we are on traditional territories of people of Treaty 7, including the Blackfoot Confederacy, members Siksika, Kainai, and Kainai First Nations, the Stoney Nakoda of Bearspaw, Chiniki and Wesley First Nations, the Dene of Subsina First Nations, and Métis Region 3. All those that call treaty lands their home. Bylaw and policy review. We are to review this at least once per electoral term. Next review is 2025. We look forward to that. January, maybe February. Council and committee meetings. 4.1, council meeting schedule. So, are we all good with the present course, Wednesdays? 6:30.
6 o'clock. Is that gonna make it difficult for anybody to be here by 6? If they change the time?
The only question I had on that, good question if I may, is what does that do to our special meeting time start?
Like a close, you mean?
Yeah.
Like if we had a start prior to?
Yeah,
It's a good question. Yeah, I mean, depending on what's on the agenda, the last few months, we've been generally meeting at 5 or 5:30. If there's too many topics, we would go to the other side of the meeting.
okay. So no earlier than 5 or 5:30.
No, and we could be firm on that too, if that was council's wish, say, close will not be again before 5, then we could go firm on that too.
Yeah, just as long as anything that needs a motion that at
Yeah.
the meeting we do first, as long as when you're doing the
Right.
agenda,
Coming out of close.
yeah.
Absolutely.
I think getting staff out of here earlier in the evening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everyone home earlier is a good idea.
Pushing their reports up earlier, are you thinking?
Well, no, just starting the meeting half an hour earlier, gets everyone home half an hour earlier.
Well, I think we pushed our reports to the top. Anyway, that's going to be our new practice moving forward.
Yeah, 6 is fine. with me.
6 is fine with me. I can make it work.
So we're all home half an hour earlier,
Yeah, exactly.
which is nice.
So. Yeah, okay, all right. That answers that, Hazel. Anything else up for debate here?
And I like moving the committee of the whole to Wednesdays as well, so not messing up Tuesday nights and Wednesday nights.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Now, as we get towards next year and the election, is there anything that changes?
You're gonna change committee of the whole from the Monday to the Wednesday?
Tuesday to the Wednesday,
That'll go-
Tuesday night to Wednesday night.
I said the Tuesday.
That impacts your curling?
Oh,
Curling Wednesdays.
No, not anymore. But I'm curling in the morning on Wednesday, so that won't make any difference.
Now you're going.
Mm,
Okay,
The election, I think we're just canceling one, right?
so,
Yep.
yeah,
Yep.
Yeah.
usually it's just,
Lou, I did want to talk about that, the September
30th?
30th.
Yep.
West End, is there any way that we could change the time for West End to earlier in the day or later in the day?
Yeah.
yeah, you want 11:30 or 11? Or you want 1 in the afternoon?
I was thinking 1.
Is that possible, Burns?
I think so. I can check the schedule and
Used to
get back
do
to the board on that one.
That's
Yeah,
great.
didn't we?
We used to do 1 and then we moved it.
Yeah,
So. Yeah. That'll accommodate you a little.
I'm curling on Wednesday morning.
Well, and it's only gonna be for not too much longer. We'll be done, right? So,
Yeah.
yeah, we can move that to 1 PM, sure.
I'll check on that and I'll confirm that for you guys.
Okay. Yeah, and we can always make that motion at West End.
That's where it belongs, but I can just change it.
Yeah.
For for the next meeting.
Okay, we'll note that.
Thank you.
Anything else? Again, towards the election, was September 30th the deadline?
Is that because it's a treaty day now or
That's, yeah, truth and
treaty
reconciliation.
reconciliation?
Thought that was the 21st.
No, it's the 30th.
There's Treaty Day the week before and then Truth or Not. Some school boards recognize one, none, both.
Yeah.
It's at the discretion of the organization.
What is it right now? Primarily financial institutions?
And
federal government?
Canada Post. And
Yeah,
Federal
federal
School
government.
Division and the banks.
Profits haven't done it yet.
Municipalities are kind of all over the map.
Calgary and Okotoks are both recognizing it.
Yeah. Okay. Is what it is. The election is October when? 15th,
No, election day is the 20th.
20th? So we'll have the first, but is that an X saying no for the 15th?
I've proposed that you cancel that one.
I'll be canvassing, so I'll be here for that meeting anyways.
All right. Sounds good. Maybe book,
When was nomination day again?
Nomination day is September 22nd.
Pardon
So
me?
you're,
September 22nd.
but you're also proposing getting rid of the first as well, because that's after nomination day,
No,
or no, we have to put that somewhere.
Council could, many councils don't have any meetings after nomination day unless there's a special required to deal with an urgent item.
Yeah.
That's entirely up to you. I'm
We might vote
proposing the
for
15th.
our MDP, so I will just leave it, but,
Yeah, I'd say leave it as,
Yeah.
yeah.
okay.
I think we'll be working right to the bitter end. So, but yeah, I would leave it, even if it's just the sign stuff. And do a farewell to people that aren't returning. It's always nice to do that on a public forum as well. All right. Okay. Take a motion. More. What?
I'm not totally in favor of
Oh.
the
September 30th.
September 30th.
the what?
It does have financial implications, like what's the lost staff time dollar worth?
But it also allows the staff to participate in some activities and stuff. To promote
they-
it.
Do they, Wednesdays?
Yeah,
That was.
to me, I don't understand.
Yeah.
And it's like, if they had a choice of, we want to give them another day off, is that the day they would pick, or would they want like Easter Monday, or like, like, just to throw it out?
Yeah.
I think,
It does have financial implications, and unless we actually look at it and decide, okay, we do want to give them more time off, which day would they want?
See, when we did this for the Christmas, so that they'd have 5 days off in a row. We kind of put it to staff about that, would they like to, like, cause they used to get Easter Monday off.
Yeah.
And so we put it to staff, so if we eliminate getting rid of Easter Monday, so that you could have like a full 5 days off at Christmas time, which would you prefer? And they went with the alternate. But it isn't a staff holiday. It's not a staff holiday.
Well, for me, I would way rather, like, my kids, FSD, I'm kind of annoyed. I'd way rather they were at school and they did something to recognize the day. Now, they sit at home, they watch movies, they play video games, whatever.
No
They-
kids.
There's no
No.
recognition of the day, really. It's just another,
So to put it in the perfect perspective, Remembrance Day, there's a ceremony at school, everyone's, of one mindset, you're expected to be in the gym and pay attention,
right
right?
now
No,
they
no,
made
no,
Remembrance
no,
Day a
no.
holiday too, so then they have to do it before, which is all kind of, I don't know. To me, it's silly.
Remembrance Day is a staff holiday now, though.
not in every, it is in Alberta, but not every other province.
Not everywhere, but the Truth and Reconciliation is not a staff holiday, so, you can't even like say, okay, well, you can work, like it used to be, you could work November the 11th, and we'll give it to you, so you can take it some other time, right? But because it wasn't a staff in Alberta at that time, way back when, and then when they changed it, like I used to take it at Christmas time. I'd work November the 11th. You don't get paid, you just get, like. If you work on a staff holiday, you get time and a half or whatever.
I don't,
Well,
I'm against it. But I don't know. I just have to make a motion to make everyone vote on that one.
make it positive and
We don't even make a motion if we're not for it. Because it's just, we could just not do E.
A through D.
Or you do it as a separate motion.
Right?
Well.
I'll just put a motion that council adopts 2025 council meeting schedule as amended by accepting A through D.
Mhm.
Adam, why is it written like statutory holidays / days of lieu? Is that just the title of it?
Yeah.
Like, but, because they're two different things.
It's
Like a day in lieu is, well, day in lieu is like when you've accrued additional hours during a work week that you can take a day off. But a statutory holiday is different. That means everybody would be taking it off without the hours obtained. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, I think what we're just trying to clarify is that request came forth from council for consideration September 30th. It's not a provincial statutory holiday. It is other places where they have a day, I don't know what they call it, just a day off then. I guess, so that's the question before you.
Okay.
I said no.
I put the motion.
Yeah, you have A through D, right?
If someone wants to do an amending motion, they can. If not,
Or you just vote for it or you vote against it.
We didn't include it in the motion.
I just said A through D.
So we have a motion on the floor. Any further debate? All in favor? All opposed?
I make an amending a motion.
Now you can, yeah.
I've already,
That's carried.
Yeah, we've already.
You can make a separate motion.
Yeah, separate
Yeah,
motion.
yeah.
That council, includes September 30th as a statutory holiday in 2020 as part of the 2025 council meeting schedule.
Okay, excellent. And further debate? Comments? You can lead the charge if you wish.
I'm just thinking that, other municipalities are doing this. That it gives our resident, or gives our staff that time to go and participate in some type of activity is showing support to our Indigenous people in Diamond Valley.
I'd be happy if the staff had an idea of something they could do together as a town to market, had a, training session that afternoon, did something nice for, our neighbors, whatever. But I think that there's financial implications. We haven't even talked to staff about what they want for staff holidays. And it's gonna cost us some money. We don't even know the amount, so maybe we should vote on it. Vote for it. Next council can decide as it gets more popular, as more people start doing it. We don't have to be leading the pack. We can be a follower. In future council.
Further debate? Being none, all in favor of the call motion, second one? And all opposed? There you go. And that's defeated. And moving on, do we have another motion here?
If I could have number 2 as well, please.
Yeah.
Oh, number 2 there, guys. I can give you that.
Please do.
That council directs administration to bring a bylaw to council to amend the terms of reference for the council committee of the whole in accordance with the rescheduled meeting dates and times.
Thank you. And pretty straightforward. All in favor? And it's carried.
Question.
Yep.
Do we have specific dates and times in all of our community bylaws? Is that a terrible idea to even have? Dates and times, so you have to amend it every time?
If I could, the committee of the whole is kind of an oddball one because it isn't every other month. It's not odd months, it's not even months, it's not every quarter. It's specific months. That's why it was put in there.
But,
Right. So we're good on dates. Okay, excellent. All right, let's go to committee appointments. We vote on them?
the other day before I had the questions, sorry.
Oh, yeah.
Confusing.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Point. Very, and this is slower. All right. Committee appointments. Put it up on the big screen here, but I'm just gonna read them out. Oh,
We already covered this.
We already went over.
we already went over it, so last call for alcohol, as it were. So we've got Mayor Crane is gone with the Mayor's Committee of Southern Alberta, West End Regional, Truck, CIO Review, Emergency Advisory, Cemetery Board for the first time in 10 years, and intermunicipal committees. Councillor Gordon is on MDP steering, the FRESC, Foothills Emergency Services Commission, MPC, which will essentially be gone, but we're all falling into the new one, and Emergency Advisory. Is there anything? And do you want anything there? Do you want cemetery? There you go.
I'd like to get the Economic Development Committee up and running again, but that's another conversation.
There you go. Holiday NPC, which of course gone away. West End Truck Intermunicipal, MVP steering. Councillor Kelly, West Winds Communities, NPC, CAO Review, Emergency Advisory, MVP. Hazel, Library, FRESC, or FRSC Landfill, for the cemetery as well. Now, are we both on cemetery?
Yeah.
Okay. MVP steering and CAO Review. And Heather is Truck, West End, and FCSS, and NDP. That's it. Alternates are straightforward. All right, I'll take a motion. No one wants any changes? Cindy gives us that. Any debate? Seeing none, all in favor? That's carried.
Like Jonathan, I want to open up Parks and Rec conversation.
Yeah.
Yeah, now's a good time to.
Send
I
Elizabeth.
forgot I was gonna mention that.
Right? Okay, so let's talk Parks and Rec and throw in a little conversation on that ED. Just because.
Well, comments from those who've been on the committee are still being approached by people within town regarding economic issues. So they lost that voice in a way.
Yeah.
So it's something I think we did I think we jumped before we should have on that one. Because there is economic growth opportunities that I think we could have been a little bit more tunnel vision on and the support in the community. So it's kind of hard to restart it right now because it'd be hard to restart it. I think hopefully the value through the MDP steering committee, hopefully their voices will be heard, but at the same time, I think it's a bit of a miss on us because it was an advisory committee and we stopped that in place. So.
Okay, we do have, Heather, go ahead.
Yeah, I actually support us moving forward with an actual economic development officer versus a committee. Also, I hope that the Chamber of Commerce, that the town can start working more directly with the Chamber of Commerce. I think that would be a benefit. So both of those would be my suggestions moving forward. I think that we've been talking about having an economic development officer for 8 years.
Yep.
And it hasn't transpired. We've budgeted for it. It hasn't transpired. So I would really like to see us move forward with that. Just my thoughts.
Okay, thank you. Cindy?
I think with a year out from election, I would put a hold on any of this, where you still have staff that are still trying to get through
Yeah, oh, yeah.
amalgamation.
Yeah.
Economic development officer, I think is a nice to have when we're looking at what, like a 9, 10, who knows, % tax increase. We can't even think about that. Like another $100,000 position, that'd be. That's another couple percent. So, yeah, I say. See who's on council next time and what their excitement is for economic development, then we'll have an MDP done. And, planning processes a little bit better in place because in order to do economic development, you need people, and in order to get people, you need planning under control. And I think that's, to me, my priority for the next year. And let staff figure out the new organization.
Hmm.
Where we throw in, like you look on our thing tonight, 250 hours saved by not having a municipal planning commission. Right? If you think that, parks, Craig's time to come to these parks meetings or or whoever came to economic development. Give them another year.
Yeah, no, I don't disagree, Cindy. I wasn't saying right away. I think that that's the direction we should be heading for. And that would be part and parcel of it, sitting down and reviewing our strategic priorities as well. So,
Mhm. Okay, I think, Jonathan, you did hit a good note on, we might have jumped the gun. I did have lunch with a previous member today. And he expressed the same sentiment that too bad it wasn't still up and running. I think there's a lot of good things that are coming down the pipe.
Yeah.
So, definitely something to keep, pressure on for next run around this. Anyway, good one, okay? Parks and Rec?
Yeah, I just, like, we didn't, I don't feel like I got a good sample size of that when Les was responsible for that, on the Black Diamond side. They didn't need very much. And then by the time we amalgamated, we pretty much squashed that committee. So I'd be curious from Adam's standpoint or Craig's if, what would be the benefits? I just wanted to have a conversation and see if it'd be worthwhile, like, what are some things that, or is there anything? I mean, Gray Park is kind of moving on its own.
Yeah.
They don't need any advice from us. We've given them our go ahead.
Yeah.
If things are just gonna stay in status quo for the next year outside of the rink upgrade, which doesn't need our advice. It's just going ahead anyways. I don't know, maybe is there anything that you can speak to in terms of what we might look at from a Parks and Rec perspective?
Yeah, thanks, your worship. I think, following the MDP, council have to decide, do you want money to go into Parks and Rec's master plan is the next one, or one of the other land use pieces. In terms of capital, if we get about $1.3 million a year. It's all spoken for 2025 already. It's carryover. So of course, the big thing from rec is $1.6 million ice plant replacement. So I'd recommend probably 26, but again, council would want to narrowly focus any potential committee down to prevent the or rather to keep the committee grounded, right? I mean, there's unless we're looking at a major venture, there's simply not really any money to meaningfully upgrade Parks and Rec.
What we need is a really well-run society, Friends of the Pool, to get going on fundraising in the next 10 years.
Yeah, I was
That's what we
gonna
need
say
more than a
that.
Parks Committee is a really good fundraiser.
and they do have a Parks Society, but they haven't been doing much either. And that was the intent of that
Was
was,
it Friends of the Sheep River Pathway? Or
yeah, that was the intent of that was to fundraise. So I don't know how we can re-engage them or try to re-engage them.
There's a new association that just got their CRA information and they're going for the nonprofit now. It's gonna be an umbrella association in the community. It's called the Diamond Valley Community Association. And one of their major
Wonderful.
driving pieces is fundraising.
Yeah,
Getting
that's
grants that
wonderful.
we can't
That's
accept.
better than a committee.
It is
Yeah.
much, yeah.
Well, the
So-
Parks one is fundraising. I saw some requests. And some other avenues that I'm involved. So they've begun fundraising now.
And what are they fundraising for?
I would think pathway, those steps, benches, signage, chairs, those types of things. So
That's a super good.
Yeah.
If I mean.
that's what I mean. So that's good. And it'll be great when the other organizations up and running.
Would they take on the pool as fundraising? Is that too big?
Pool is, I think the pool needs to be an entire council conversation. And it's kind of good at the Alberta Munis there. Had a lot of good conversations with Rex people around what their community centers look like. And I gotta say, so we were down in Coaldale,
That's a nice school.
just 8K or 12K, not even, just outside of Lethbridge. I was there, I missed Daniel Smith and the whole garage 5.5 hour. They were still putting away the chairs for their grand opening. And you gotta see this facility. 4 or 5 volleyball courts, 4 basketball courts when they switched over, soccer field, library, school attachment,
Walking track.
walking track, all up top. Absolutely amazing facility, top notch. And the wall of sponsors. We have the same people in our community. You know, they had like 3 or 4 big rancher families. We have the same setup here. We have Siemens, right? We have the Mantics. We have those families that just need to be approached and say, can you get behind this? So I think a community building, which would incorporate a pool,
I was thinking that.
is an entire different ball of wax.
Outdoor pool. All we can afford.
Yeah, if we can afford that. But
Well,
yeah,
there's where it's important to start with getting our recreation plan put together.
Yeah.
So we can start charging off-site levies.
exactly.
Despite what everyone's saying about off-site levies,
Yeah.
we're not gonna be able to afford to do it unless we do something like that.
That's
Oh,
right.
yeah.
And so then you're gonna get the complainers on the, you know, like we need more ice time, we need another ice surface, whatever, indoor. Well, where's the money coming from? You know, offsite levies and donations would do it.
So it's definitely a big conversation to be had. Especially for pool.
Especially when the light was very.
And
Kind of funny, because when, Turner Valley Council decided years ago, 30 years ago, or 25 years ago, to move forward with, paving all the streets in Turner Valley, and they used the special tax to basically pay for it. Special tax. Yeah, local
Yeah.
improvement levy, but they didn't have that then.
Right.
Just we did. No, it was called a special tax.
There wasn't.
Actually, people, and they changed the name of it. So it was a special tax, and the uproar that came about,
Oh, yeah.
but now it's like, oh, well, Turner Valley streets are all paved, why are they not done?
Yeah.
And it's all paid for now, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's the
so.
Oil company should have paid for it back in the day anyway. Oh, well. If nothing else, we'll adjourn the,
So we got the selection of women of deputy.
oh, that's, my goodness. Sure. Why were we not even on that? My goodness. All right. Yes, and signing authorities. Okay. All right, council must appoint 1 or more councillors as deputy chief elected official to deputy mayor. Only 1 councillor will hold that office at any one time, and that office will be filled at all times. All right, council.
Well, we normally split it into 6 months, not fiscal year.
Yeah, 6
And
months.
Hazel just got in.
Yeah.
So I'd have, yeah, to have her.
So Hazel, you want to stick on for the next 6?
Yeah, I'll do that. If
Right.
that's all right.
And Heather mentioned as well that she'd like to step in after that, so.
Yeah, as long as it's okay with Brandon. Brandon.
Doesn't matter.
Don't want to hurt you.
You won't hurt my feelings.
It's like we're trying
Yeah, do it.
to do it,
Do it.
but I'm not doing it again.
No. No, you're done.
I'm done,
You're done.
totally done.
Okay, so we have, option 1 to council appoint Councillor Martin as deputy mayor for her 6-month term.
Yeah.
Term of 6 months.
Will be ending April.
We do 5 months, give.
End of April, April
30th.
Yeah, that's fair.
Wanna do that?
So I
Yeah.
want the first of April
Yeah,
and the end of
that-
March then.
Okay, easy enough. We can pick the dates.
We have to name them in this motion.
We have to at least get a committee of the whole for Heather to chair. She hasn't chaired anything, so
There you go.
Yeah.
Okay. November,
I don't know what the dates are on committee of the whole.
Yeah,
March 31,
end of March for Hazel and
Yeah.
then Heather picks up on April 1st
April
to
1st, yeah.
March 31, April 1st.
Oh, long
October
for-
15th.
Thompson. April 1st. In November,
Yeah, October,
October.
the election.
October. All right. Okay, I'll get that motion then, that council appoint, Councilor Martin to, from present day to March 31, 2025 as deputy mayor, and followed by Councilor Thompson from April 1st, 2025 to October 20th, 2020. Perfect. All right, all in favor? And it's carried. Authorized bank signing.
And
Yep.
Yeah.
The council authorized Mayor Barry Crane, Councilor Brendan Kelly, Hazel Martin, Cindy Holiday, as council signing authorities on behalf of the town of Diamond Valley. In accordance with municipal government Act, section 213, 4A, and further, council authorized CIO Davy, CFO Vin Chana, and legislative services benefit for state and designated administrative signing authorities on behalf of the town of Diamond Valley in accordance with the municipal Government Act, section 214. 4B. All very. All right, now the org meeting is adjourned. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. It is 6:31 and we're going to reconvene the October, yes, we're in October, 16th regular council meeting. We started today at 5.
actually, we're not reconvening. This is
No,
a separate meeting.
Separate meeting.
Oh, it is too. So it is. Yes, it is. All right, we're opening this regular business meeting at 6:31. And that is October 2nd. No, we're 16th now.
No, that's my fault, sorry.
Oh, that was gonna make for some good. That was gonna be great.
Yeah, rehash that.
Yeah.
Just checking to see. if
Sorry,
it's
here
in
we
their
go.
phones.
The town of Diamond Valley acknowledges that we are on the traditional territory of the people of Treaty 7 land, including the Blackfoot Confederacy members, the Siksika, Kainai, and Kainai First Nations, the Stoney Nakoda of Bearspaw, Chiniki and Wesley First Nations, the Dene of Tsuut'ina First Nations, and Métis Region 3, and all those that call Treaty 7 land their home. We did have a meeting earlier. I'll just tell everybody about it. It was the organizational meeting, so very blasé, where we appoint councillors to their terms for committees and for the next year. And we appoint our deputy mayors. Our deputy mayors for the next year will be Councillor Martin until the end of March and Councillor Thompson from April 1st till the end of the term, October 20th, which is also election. So think about running. Never know. You're never too young. All right.
We're old, apparently.
All right, so tonight we have an approval for agenda. Any additions to this agenda? We're gonna do our consent agenda first. Thank you. I like how you did that.
You're
Yeah.
gonna whack.
All right, consent agenda. Can I get a motion for that? Jonathan Gordon gives us that. Anything on the consent agenda that council would like to see moved over?
Too late.
Too late.
2001 days.
That's it. Beautiful little card from the Diamond Valley Car Show. There you go. All right. Seeing no motion, all in favor? Thank you. All right, moving on to the regular approval of agenda. What am I looking at? I gotta close that book. I'm looking at the wrong sheet, just like they had October 2nd up there. I'm looking at the 16th. Okay. That one's gone. Goodness me. Question period, 3.1. Question period is a 15-minute section of the council meeting.
Need a motion.
Adopt the regular agenda.
Do you want to start over?
Yes.
Brendan, give him that motion. That's
We're doing a motion to adopt the regular agenda.
Any additions? Please say no.
No, we're good. man.
All in favor of the regular agenda for October 16, 2024? Excellent, thank you.
Now
Can I go to question period?
Perfect.
Thank you. Question period is a section of the council meeting, 15 minutes in time, where we answer questions for regular citizens. You can text, phone, email, or write it down on this lovely sheet of paper, like someone did. And as long as that gets into our administration here about 10 minutes early, in case there's anything particular, we really appreciate that. So here we go. Question this evening. What are the outcomes or results of the environmental study on area behind the south of McLeod, which I'm assuming is, of course, the Everwood Phase. Are we calling it Everwood Phase 2? What are we calling it?
Internally, we're referring to it as Phase 1, 2024.
There we go. Phase 1, 2024. That's a good one. And I'll just read the second question because I think Ms. Florzon, you're going to answer both. And has there been a traffic study on the thought from traffic from John and Robert Street included exiting onto George Street? So has there been a traffic study in reference to the traffic that's going to come down John off of Roberts and would then turn across George Street where that connector road's going to come in? Okay, so what are the outcomes or results of an environmental study for the area behind and south of McLeod, otherwise Phase 2024? And has there been a traffic study for John Roberts onto George? Ms. Forsell.
Through the chair, with regards to the environmental study, I was not file manager for that subdivision. If that's something that needs further looking into, I can do that. However, all subdivisions are circulated internally and externally for comment. So presumably, if there were any issues, our engineer would have flagged them. And with regards to traffic circulation, the approved subdivision that the Municipal Planning Commission approved on September 23rd, which is file 084-2024 SUB, extends John Street to the east and George Street slightly south. And so there is going to be the ability to kind of finish that loop, if you will.
All right. Any questions from council in regards to those two questions? Clarity? Heather, go ahead.
I think on the residential side of things, and correct me if I'm wrong, Harry, they don't necessarily need a Phase 1, Phase 2. It would have to, it is a requirement when they go with commercial, is it not?
So the matters regarding subdivision and development are quite prescriptive. If there's any suspicion of contamination in the area, so we know that it was a former gas station, for example, will require higher levels. If we know it's within the setback distances prescribed from the province, from wastewater treatment or landfills, there's processes that we have to go through for that. So again, I have not been the file manager for it. I don't know what the comments were back.
So you can look into that a little further.
I could, yeah.
That'd be great. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Cindy.
Yeah, on NBC, we did wonder about that because we knew there were some, especially because there was wells in the area. And there weren't any concerns, but if you could just maybe go back and review it and let the resident know. Response, that would be great.
Okay, thank you. I just wanted to clarify as well. We had the approval for this development at our MPC. And at that MPC, I very clearly asked about the access. And the access was declared to be, as on the map, through DeKalta, and that was going to be a temporary road. Yet we received some inquiries as to why large traffic was rolling through George Street to access that property. So could you just maybe explain how this access road off Deculta into this particular area is supposed to work? And tell me and council what the deterrent for anyone trying to cheat and get through George Street is going to be. Does that make sense?
Mhm.
Please, thank you.
Through the chair, the temporary construction access for Everwood is off Deculta, approximately, or off Main, approximately across from Deculta. So they will enter from the east of the large property, head to the west towards where those 20-some homes are going to be developed. As far as I'm aware, that has been going on. We were out there doing some site inspections. There is another project at 302 George that's a multi-building, multi-family development.
Okay.
And my understanding is that they either have or are on the verge of starting construction on that site.
Okay, so that could be where we get some conflicting information. If they're gonna start at the multifamily site, that could be seen, because heavy equipment is obviously gonna come in to do some work there. We don't wanna have misconstrued that that machinery is going into the other area. So that could be possibly it.
Possibly.
Okay, so, but we do have approved access off of Deculta, and they are aware that that is their route.
Yep.
Okay, excellent, thank you. All right, council, all good? All right, we will close question period and move on to statutory hearings. We only have 6 of those tonight. Just kidding. They're really boring. Delegations, we have none. Bylaws and policies, 6.1, subdivision and development authority. Mr. Davey, over to you.
Thank you, your worship. So these 5 are for first reading, so Ms. Florzone is available for any process or clarification questions.
Thank you, sir. Council, Cindy.
A key part of this change was our desire to require area structure plans or redevelopment plans that council would be approved for subdivisions. And I don't see how, like, I don't want to be stuck in a spot where that's not in place.
Mhm.
So where does that come in?
Yeah, through the chair, all of the developers of those larger developable lands have been made aware that moving forward, we will be requiring area structure plans. It's not a requirement to be in the municipal development plan for us to make that request. It's wherever there is a planning need or justification for it. And we think that we have some pretty firm footing at this point to require area structure plans in those areas due to just where is servicing going? So they have been made aware of that, and that is the expectation. It's been written down multiple times, so that they can't come back and say that we switched the rules. Moving forward, if you, there is still the plans on my to-do list of bringing forward those MDP amendments to codify it. Again, it's not a requirement under the MGA that it's in there. It's just that extra layer of, look, this is the expectation.
Yeah, I'm just wondering if we could do it at the same time so that it's totally in the MDP, even though it's the old one, at the exact same time we're rolling over subdivision authority. Just so there's no not somebody coming in saying, well, you can't make me in the interim. So it would make me feel better. So if we could do it at the same time, is that gonna hold things up or be a problem? Oh, that's what I thought you would say. How badly? Like, or can you do it, can we do the MDP out for first, like next meeting? So it's only 2 weeks behind. I just don't want it to be left months and months when we have so much interest in development. I just, I don't know. Could it be done, like, it doesn't have to be done in the exact same meetings, but could it be done the process started at the next meeting.
Would you like to answer any of that first, so you can think on it and then get Hazel or Heather, sorry. The new H's.
I just wonder what the implications are of just waiting for it and passing these tonight. I just don't know what. Like, what's the implications of not doing what Cindy's kind of presenting tonight?
Little debate here.
I just don't want somebody saying, well, I've already done a concept plan, why do I have to do an area structure plan in the interim? I want it in our MDP saying you have to do an area structure plan if you're in certain areas, that's what I'm asking for. But I'm okay if it's a few weeks behind, I just don't want it to be left 6 months. Or even a few months because we have this interest, so.
Makes sense?
Well, sort of, except for concept plan, it's a concept. It's nothing really that holds any power.
And that's what
Yeah.
Cindy's saying. I think you're agreeing with Cindy.
Yeah, I'm saying I want to make sure that it's very clear in our rules in the MDP that you have to do an area structure plan in certain of these big development areas. And before, just quickly, so that somebody doesn't come in the interim. I just wanted it taken care of. It's fine. She's got it.
Yeah, okay,
Sorry, go ahead.
so through the chair, the risk would be, before that change comes forward to council to amend the municipal development plan, if, both the CAO and the planning manager decide that they all of a sudden don't need an area structure plan, that would be the risk.
Yeah.
And I don't think that we're anywhere close to that, so that would just be council's level of comfort with administration.
Yeah, I'm good. I just want it started.
And, Cindy has it right, it allows council to really get out of the weeds when those area structure plans are in place. We don't stick our fingers in anyone's nose. And I think everyone's a good example in terms of, there's the 23 lots, they're R1X. They're good. They follow the plan. We don't have anything to say. So as long as we can stay up on that high level, looking down and approve the organization of it, that's where we need, and then everything else is right in there, face to face and pen to paper. That's your jobs, right? So this allows us to stay where we need to be in terms of approving the ways forward. So, okay, so with your comments, Cindy, I definitely have a level of comfort with that for the small amount of time that's going to float, knowing that we have in front of us. Council, if you're in agreement, this is just first reading as well, right? So time for comments, kickbacks and all that up next ones. All right, thank you.
The council give first reading to bylaws 2024-80, 2024-81, 2024-82, 2024-83, and 2024-63, and direct the administration to set a public hearing for bylaws 2024-82 and 2024-83, and bring back bylaws 2024-80, 2024-81, and 2024-63 for second reading concurrently.
Yeah, just a little bit. All right, everybody want to reread that just to make sure it all makes sense? Yeah. Okay, we'll go with the written record versus the verbal. All right, any comments on that?
Did I mess up?
No. I'm just kidding, no, great. All right, because you did so well, you can read the proclamation today. Any further debate? All right, all in favor? And that's carried. Thank you. All right, council 6.2, council 018 ice distribution policy. Mr. Davey, over to you.
Thanks, your worship. So as per council's last meeting, administration has brought back the requested changes to the policy.
Thank you. Council, any questions? I believe we have manager Nick Blanc and her counterparts here this evening for any questions that we may have. By all means, fire away. Councilor Gordon, please.
Yeah, I have a question for administration. Something I don't really want to bring forward, but something to consider as our community
Thank you,
goes.
Gary.
the fact we have one indoor ice pad and one other refrigerated ice pad that's not always conducive to the extremely cold weather. Our blocks of time for ice is an hour plus 15 minutes for flooding, correct? So have we thought about reducing that? I've lived in other municipalities where ice time was 50 minutes and 10 minutes to flood. So is that something we consider?
Means,
Thank you for the chair. Thank you, Councillor Gordon, for the question. Yes, we certainly have considered that, and it is becoming something that is more and more relevant as the demand is increased every year. We're never quite sure what that might be from year to year. We have taken a look at it. We already have teams that are practicing and sharing ice. There's a lot of that goes on. I will defer to my colleague Laura Levine, who has been a lot more involved in that side of it, trying to squeeze every minute that we can to be able to accommodate the demand that we do have. So she may have a few more comments, but yes, we have considered it.
Thank you through the chair. Yes, it was actually a proposal we put through this year to the facility operations team. At this time, due to staffing and availability, they didn't feel as though they would be able to do floods within the 10-minute time frame. But it was something that we did put forward because it would allow for an extra hour of ice every day. So it is our hope that going forward, in future years, once they feel it's possible for the facility operations team to be able to make that work, then it is in talks.
So if I could have follow up with that,
Please do.
would that be in combination to restricting the ice time itself to 50 minutes? And that could then potentially allow for an earlier start for our adults, correct?
So it wouldn't necessarily get earlier start times for the adults. It just gives an extra hour of ice for the youth. And then if those youth are not taking that time,
Then it can be built up.
it could be built up. The adults do use an hour 15 minutes because their times are games. But then with the youth, it has also been discussed with them to do 45-minute blocks, especially for their younger players, and do 45 minutes backed onto another 45 minutes without a flood in between.
yeah,
So moving forward for next year, what's going to happen is whatever block of prime ice that we make available for the youth, then we will just be saying to them, you have 27 hours of prime ice to split between the two user groups. And then they will decide how they're going to split that ice up. So where they're going to put floods and all of that,
Love it.
as long as it works with operations.
yeah.
Awesome. Thank you.
James, we're on it. So the outdoor rink, is that booked in the same context for its usage? Like exact same methods are still used for like the pond hockey groups and so on, same thing, right?
Yeah, so how it is right now, there is an hour of ice right up to school for after school shinny.
Yeah.
Monday through Friday, and then it's fully booked until 9:30.
Yeah.
Most of them don't like using the ice closer to 10 o'clock on that rink just because it gets pretty cold. But it is fully booked Monday through Saturday. Until November, at the end of December.
Yeah.
And then in January, it opens up a little bit.
There you go. Okay, sounds like we got lots of work. Hazel, go ahead.
Great, you've done great work on this, Laura Lee. Thank you very much. Just more of a comment than anything. On page 81, booking priorities for the ORA B.
That's page 3 of the policy.
Policy, pardon me, but it's 81 in our agenda. Would it be the same, would you use the same wording for 5.2 under SSR, seasonal local youth, including local emergency organizations? Like somebody that started up like Ringette or something like that?
If I may, through the chair, we could include that. Those emerging organizations typically want the indoor ice, not the outdoor ice. So when they are requesting ice from us, it is for the indoor as
Okay,
opposed to the outdoor.
okay. The pond hockey is just typically outside.
Yes.
Okay, okay, always have it. Makes total sense.
All right. Just looking for my motion. Can I get one, please? Because I can't find it. Yep, go ahead, Cindy.
The council authorizes council 018 ice distribution policy as presented with the following provisions. This is option 2, as recommended by admin. Historical adult users ice times will begin at 9:45 p.m. on weekdays. However, if youth end at 9:15, they may begin as early as 9:30 p.m. Weekend historical adult user ice times will not extend past 11:30 p.m. All future conflicts will follow the established conflict resolution procedure.
All right, any further comments? Seeing none, all in favor? And all opposed? Thank you, that vote is carried. All right, moving on, action items, Alberta Community Partnership application approval. Go ahead, Heather.
I can put a motion forward through this one. It's pretty straightforward. and
You
it's
do,
gonna come
yes.
For some grant money. The council supports the town of Diamond Valley acting as managing partner in the Alberta Community Partnership Grant Program, should the application be successful.
Excellent, thank you. And Mr. Dave, would you like to speak to this one, just to give a little background?
Yeah, sure, your worship. So, yeah, great opportunity here. As you know, Diamond Valley is a member of the South Central Emergency Management Group. We had an opportunity to go with 2 other partners to put a joint application together, and we'll get about a third of this funding, but it's joint, so this really will strengthen emergency management for the region.
Excellent. All right, any further questions, council, for admin? Pretty straightforward. All in favor? Thank you, that's carried, and fingers crossed we get that. All right, property tax exemption of designated affordable housing. This is a little bit of a change up from times past. This came in with the passing of Bill 20 and the amendment to section 363-1 of the MGA. So this is the first year, I do believe, that we get a notification from the province to point out the property tax exempt affordable housing areas, which for us are covered under West Winds community housing. So anything else to add to that?
Thanks, your worship. Yeah, I think that's a good summary there. As you know, to get the ministerial letter that's got 2 locations designated for this. So the big impact here is for 2025, those properties are exempt. So the question before council today is via bylaw, do you want to direct administration to bring this back to make those properties non-exempt for 2026? So the clarity here is 2025, these properties are exempt. So that money that they're not paying will be spread to the other property payers. But in 2026, council does have the option, should you wish. But in order to do that, we have to pass a bylaw before January 1st.
Of 2025.
So we've got,
Thank you.
3 meetings after tonight.
Okay, Hazel, this is a good debate.
Well, we are, as Lisa provided us the information. There is still the properties on the former Black Diamond, that West Winds. Their properties are not listed in the ministerial order. So that'll be another $10,000. So right now we're looking at about $69,000 that's being passed down to us. And another 10, so now we're at probably 80,000. So I guess I have a couple of questions. First of all, Main Street Village is one of the properties. Will they be exempt from paying their share of the West Winds requisition?
Good question, your worship. Maybe I'll bring in Ms. Zira and see if she can help me out here.
I am uncertain on the answer to that at this point. The letter that accompanied specifically said that regardless of council's decision, they will be exempt from education tax. It only references education tax. So I'm going to need to clarify that from them. I would assume they will pay that, as they've only stated education tax. They'll be exempt from, but I will have to clarify that.
And just one more question. So it's West Winds, they'll be exempt on the municipal property tax and the education tax. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Yeah. So, has there been any conversations with West Winds to say if you don't have to pay that, would you take that portion off your requisition?
There has been no conversations about that. I have contacted them and I'm waiting to hear back from them. Also to clarify if those properties on the Black Diamond side of Diamond Valley will be added, if they're requesting to have them added. Because I'm not sure why they are not on the list.
Well, especially for West Winds, because one set of properties is exempt. And one they have to pay. I mean, that's gonna be a nightmare for them in their accounting. Thank you very much. Just more get tossed down.
Yeah, downloading doesn't end. Cindy, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm in favor of drafting a bylaw. I think the province, it was a terrible idea. I'd rather not support it. I think if they want to do more, they need to do it on their dime, not ours.
Heather, thank you.
I totally agree. We had that conversation about, the education, especially the education tax, at our Alberta Community Conference. And a resolution going forward regarding that to, the province take back the education tax. And I think that that's something that we should still strongly advocate for. They want to do this to us and download this stuff on us, then they should take that back. And explain it to the residents why. So that's just my comments. I think we should move forward with drafting. I can put that motion forward.
Yes, I'll take a motion.
I just don't know if like quite the proposed motions here are the percentage.
We have to debate on the percentage.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's your worship. I can just clarify that's council's intent to have a bylaw for 2026. It's also up to council to say, do you want to tax at 50%, 80%, or 100? So you have that flexibility too. And 100%, of course, that would be the same as everyone else.
Still subsidizing if it was less than 100%.
Yeah. Yeah, so to clarify, anything below 100% would still be a subsidy, just to a lesser extent.
Could we get a motion, Heather, to bring back some options and what they look like for our next meeting? And that way we can let this soak in a bit and maybe get some comment from West Winds.
They
might.
I don't have time, but I mean. Are you looking for the number on if you did 50%, what that looks like? And I mean, we are looking at, really do need clarity around those other properties, although as it stands right now, they're not on the list, so I believe them not to be included. But, I mean, if you really, the simplest way to look at this, if you do 50%, you're looking at about 0.4 of a percentage increase. If you were to do 50% on all the properties as they stand on the list currently.
That's by 50%.
Yeah, 8.
Yeah.
Percent.
Yeah. Third paragraph.
So if this Bill 20 didn't exist, what would West Winds be requisitioning right now? As is,
Same way
right?
you're doing it.
Yes. Oh, you mean what do they pay for tax? That they pay the same as everybody else, residential tax rate?
In our municipality.
Totally fine. It's the way it's always been, so I don't know why the province did this other than to make their books. look
Because they're trying to make it more affordable for not-for-profit housing to get built. They're trying to give
Yes.
them,
This year.
it gives them more capital to work with.
Yeah.
Like I said in West Wingsport, this does help them,
Yeah.
but it doesn't help our residents
No,
at all.
That's what I mean, so you just have one little section, but
Twenty twenty-six. I'm good with going back to 100% in 2026.
yeah, so much.
It's helping them for 2025, but go back to normal in 2026
oh, yeah.
at 100%.
Mhm.
Yeah. So that's the percentage that I would put forward. The council direct administration to draft the bylaw making and list the civic addresses as presented by admin taxable at 100% of the municipal tax rate and notify the property owners of proposed bylaw.
Okay, thank you, discussion. Brennan.
Yeah, I'm definitely leaning towards yes on this. Good motion, Heather. Has the province given that land, Glenmead 3 to West Winds yet? Has there been any movement on that? Do we know any of that update? Because we supported that letter a long time ago, right?
I was sitting on there 4 years ago when we were asked, so.
I'd have to get back to your worship.
Okay, thanks, CEO Davey. Yeah, I'd just like to see the province.
Yeah.
Do stuff here. Okay, yeah, thanks, CEO Davey.
Councillor Gordon.
Yeah, I appreciate that motion, Councillor Thompson, and I'm very strongly leaning towards supporting it, and my concerns are this. The tax burden has been placed on municipalities in a way that has been dramatically increased in the last 3 years, with MSI being severely reduced. AB Munis has recognized at least $1 billion shortfall across Alberta with that. So I understand what they're getting at and the support that they want to give for affordable housing to motivate builders to get involved, to get more affordable housing out there. At the same time, that tax burden is shared by the residents of that municipality. And that needs to be an equitable tax share. And so putting that burden in the way that they are doing for 2025 has removed that equitability. So for that reason, I'm ready to support your motion.
Absolutely. Any further debate? I think we're good. All in favor? And that is carried, thank you. The motion, Heather? Community,
Can I ask a-
yeah, absolutely, go ahead.
So the province only gave us 3 months to figure this out as well.
Even quicker, right? So Bill 20 came out and that's when we, along with a lot of other municipalities, had questions back.
Yeah.
I think council had some questions too. We did not get that clarity. And then this letter just came out. So even that list of properties that was still unknown to the town. So this is
Weeks.
yeah, very rapid, hence why we don't have all the answers, but in order to get that bylaw passed before January 1st of 25, it's a very tight timeline.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Please, when they want to do stuff fast, they can.
Right, I mean, you can legalize weed in a matter of months, but no. We won't do X, Y, and Z, and we're not gonna let anyone get a nice freebie or anything. Smoke all you want, we got that covered in no time at all. Yeah, bureaucracy at its best. Don't talk to the Department of Fisheries either. Won't be allowed to fish for a while. Community Sport Grant, High Country Minor Hockey Associations. Who wants to get it?
Yeah, the council approved the High Country Minor Hockey Association's U11 tournament event and community sport grant application requested an amount of $500.
Thank you. Any debate? Straightforward. Kids playing hockey. Trophy time. All in favor? Go get them. All right, so that one's off the list. That one's off the list. 7-4 Community Support Grant, Sheep River Health Trust Avenue of Trees fundraising event. And if you noticed in the newspaper, they're looking for communities to step up and support those trees and decorate those trees. So if you have that artistic hand, by all means, Heather, give it to me.
Need Kelly Tuck to do that.
Right, it was amazing. She won 3 years in a row.
Amazing.
She's good.
The council approved the Sheep River Health Trust Avenue of Trees event community support grant application request from the amount of $500.
Thank you. Yes, please, go ahead.
This is a question for Ms. Monk. The radiothon, don't they normally come? I thought we never usually do the trees, but we do the radiothon. Is that not happening or are they coming back for more?
To the question, through the chair, yes. They'll come back again next year, I'm sure, until they're notified that the community support grant is no longer. However, they do two main fundraisers per year that they reach out to the communities, and one of them is the radiothon in June, and the other one is the Avenue of Trees, so.
So did they not come to us? Cause I don't remember doing the radiothon this year.
Yeah, we did.
Okay, I thought it just hadn't happened yet, but it happened in June.
It did.
Okay.
And there was a $500, yeah, there was a $500 contribution that was supported.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah, this is twice that they come to us for the amounts, and they ask for a lot more than that, and with the sponsorship, there's a range in there, but council has this year anyway, traditionally been providing $500 amounts.
Excellent. Okay, we have a motion for 500. All in favor? All opposed? Thank you. That motion is carried. 7.5, request expression of interest for the Municipal Electricity Generation Program, otherwise known as the MEGP or MEGP. Funding. All right, this is for the library. Hazel, would you like to speak to this one?
Let me make the motion.
Sure.
Yeah.
That council directs administration to submit an expression of interest to the Municipal Climate Change Action Center for the Municipal Electricity Generation Program no later than October 31st, 2024, and to notify the Diamond Valley Library Board Chair when the submission has been made.
Excellent.
So this project has been going on for about the past 18 months. We've been doing a bunch of fundraising. We've probably got about close to $75,000 already through donations from local businesses and corporations. The bids closed last Thursday. Our member John Waring and Craig have been working together on this project. So we will have a better understanding of what the project costs are probably in the coming weeks. I believe they're right in the hands of the MPE possibly right now, going through their processing. So. Yeah.
All right. Any questions, clarity? All good? Sounds good. All in favor? That is carried. Thank you. Can I get a motion for proclamation for Family Violence Prevention Month, please? You, Hazel gives us that. I can read that. I'll read that. Yeah.
Could do that.
That council proclaimed November as Family Violence Prevention Month in the town of Diamond Valley.
All in favor? Thank you. Family Violence Prevention Month. Whereas there are many people in Alberta who experience the impact of domestic violence and abuse, and whereas the impact may be carried on from generation to generation, and whereas all Albertans have a role to play in preventing domestic violence and abuse, therefore, members of Diamond Valley Town Council do hereby proclaim the month of November 2024 to be Family Violence Prevention Month in the town of Diamond Valley. We call upon citizens to speak out against domestic violence and abuse. We call upon you to make a difference in creating a culture of support for those impacted by domestic violence and abuse. And we call upon you to encourage all Albertans to help make our province violence and abuse free in 2024 and beyond. In witness thereof, this 16th day of October 2024, I duly signed, Mayor Barry Crane. All right. That was sponsored by Rowan House, of course, Society. If you want to give some money to a good cause, Rowan House is a good one. Moving on to 7.7, request for a special council meeting. This is for Committee of the Whole for November 12th, 2024. I will give the motion that Council Direct Administration hold a special council meeting at 6:30. Ooh, on a Tuesday? That's pool league night, man. I didn't see that date. The 12th.
They changed.
We changed it to Wednesdays.
Yeah. At 6.
We haven't amended the bylaw yet. That's why I brought this. This was your scheduled committee of the whole night.
Well, I think we'll change it to Wednesday starting now, yeah? Yeah,
We can switch and switch it.
yeah, let's go November 13th on Wednesday. All my team will be happy.
Wednesday, the 13th?
Yeah.
We start at 6.
Yeah, let's
We can start at 6. Indeed, we can. So the council direct administration to hold a special council meeting November 13th, Wednesday, November 13th, Wednesday, 2024, at 6 p.m. You gonna work for you? Cindy?
The intention is not to pass the budget. You're not making, it's just so they can count that. Because I won't be here, so I really don't want you passing the budget that night.
Come back with this
So, yeah,
dragonfly.
yeah.
Yeah,
That's my only concern with letting you guys have a special.
You don't trust us anymore.
the intent, your worship, is just so council can provide that direction, resolution.
You can take us up, yeah.
Yeah.
You see how much to do it?
I love it. All right, thank you for that. All in favor?
Yeah.
Excellent, that's carried. All right, thank you. So we'll see you guys all. What's the first, November,
Oh.
the 4th?
Six.
November.
Sixth, your worship.
There you go. Okay, excellent. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for attending, and we are adjourned.